shout out to the brothers in the front. You've got the land back, just there. There's your land, just there. Look at the stare down. Look at the stare down. I need you to make some noise. PFA, make some noise. Come on. Independent, make some noise. Yes.
Here we go. It's round number 1. Jardine in the black trunks, November in the green with the silver trim. At first glance, what you having a look at there, Russell?
This is going to be a cracker. Both men in the stare down didn't give an inch. And November's looking like he's taking some shots. Jeremy Jardine looking very sharp, walking in there with a jab, which is the correct thing to do. And here he follows up with a hook over the top.
Jeremy exiting the clinch situation with shots. Of course, it's protect yourself at all times in boxing, as always. And we're looking at, again, 2 different kinds of body builds. You've got the body beautiful from Jeremy Jardine, and you've got the taller, rangier kind of fighter who has a big jiu-jitsu background, I hear.
Yes. I believe he's got an amateur jiu-jitsu background. Very interesting though. November's circling, his hands are quite low. He looks very, very confident, perhaps overconfident. He walked in with a t-shirt saying GOAT, the greatest of all time. We're going to have to see if that's true. But November's busy chasing, being chased around. We're going to see if he lives up to the hype.
Well, I'm sure that at this level, GOAT on your shirt is tongue-in-cheek as you get. And Jeremy Jardine opening up with a couple of winging hooks to the body, not really doing too much damage, none of those really connecting, but catching the attention of Chad November.
Jardine's definitely looking like a stronger fighter. He's using heavy and nicely, he's bobbing and weaving. You can see he's throwing a lot of bad intentions into his shots, and Chad November's circling out. He doesn't look like the stronger fighter. He is throwing out a jab, but it doesn't look like a hell of a lot on his jab. He looks like he's conserving himself though. Jardine is looking like he's breathing heavy, and Chad's now walking in.
Chad needs to worry about one thing, is that those hands go down when he exits a situation. The hands being down, and he's still in range. He's not quite out of range. Jardine's concern is going to have to be being too tight and squeezing too much energy out of those muscular arms of his. Bounces back with a nice right hand straight to the midriff of Chad November. Test to see if you've been doing your sit-ups in camp.
This is a very interesting fight. So you've got the classic case of the bull and the matador. Chad's busy circling around the ring. He's circling the wrong way though. He's circling towards the power hand when he should be circling away from Jardine's power hand. On the other side of the coin, Jardine's busy standing his ground. He's busy taking the center of the ring. He's trying to cut his man off.
Of course, this crowd packed to capacity, over 500 people here in the ballroom at the Cape Sun Hotel for tonight's action. Fight for change. And right now, Jeremy Jardine is just fighting for position. He's landed a nice right hand to the stomach, and he seems to have taken control of the center of the ring in the first round.
Absolutely. November's looking, his hands are very, very low. He's starting to breathe heavy now. He isn't throwing a hell of a lot. He's circling out, but he's not really counter-punching. And Jardine's looking very strong. He's walking his shots down. If he can stay composed, he should take this fight quite comfortably. End of the round, and Jardine definitely took that.
Oh, and there's a bit of fire at the bell over there. And one of the ways that you know who's struggling in terms of fatigue levels, Chad November, although standing up, his mouth is hanging wide open. He's kind of... counterpunch style, but his hands were always in his pockets to try and suck you into overcommitting, like you said, into throwing a bad punch and being caught on the counter. Jardine starting off strong here in round number 2. Both these boys go straight back in the action.
Well, there you go, some boxing history and some great fight IQ from Dev. And November's busy circling out. But Jardine's looking very strong and swinging very, very hard. November's trying to circle away, and he's trying to tie up his man, but he's got,
and a beautiful right hand on the tip of the jaw sends November to the canvas for the first knockdown of the fight here in the second round.
And Dev, as I said a moment ago, that November was dropping his hands. He'll be very careful to get caught on the way in, and there he was as he was circling out. Jardine with a great shot on the jaw, got caught.
Jardine looking to go in for the kill. Just like you said, that hands down technique is not going to work out for you, especially when you're exiting any kind of clinch situation like that with his hands down, mouth wide open. Chad November looks in all sorts of trouble right now.
November's legs are looking a bit wobbly. Jardine must just not be too overzealous to commit himself. He can hang back. If the knockout doesn't come, he can reset and try again for it later.
He's definitely sitting on a lead, and that would be a 10-8 round if we're scoring 10-point must, which we are at ringside. I'm not sure how the judges are scoring it though.
Absolutely. Jardine might be a bit keen to finish this. You can see he's standing in the middle of the round, and November hugs again. I think November's out on wobbly legs. He's looking kind of heavy. He's already taken a shot. He might take a knee again in this round and go down for another standing 8 count.
Jardine looking very composed. He's taking his time. He's not blowing his wad, as if he wanted to say, on a man who thinks he's injured, but he's looking at that counterpunch left hook, and it just whistled past, but there's a matter of time before that left hook finds a home, because November's hands are in his pockets, let's face it, and he eats a big right hand just because of that.
Jardine dug with a great body shot, and November's not really answering back in the exchanges. Jardine's getting the better of every single exchange. November's walking up to his man and hugging him and trying to force a clinch, but on the outside he's not doing very much, and now he's breathing very heavy. As we said before, when you take a shot on the jaw, it can really affect your breathing, it can affect your stamina, and November's looking very fatigued right now.
I also get the feeling that Jardine is starting to worry less about what's coming back at him. He's starting to walk forward a lot more happily. He's got his hands up, he's blocking any of those kind of shots, and he's inviting Chad November to come to the party.
Dev, I don't think this fight's going to last, go the distance. Chad's looking very, very tired. He's not throwing a lot of power behind his punches, and he's breathing with his mouth wide open.
The hands still high from Jeremy Jardine, the elbows nicely tucked in. He's looking the very much more composed boxer, and of course sitting on that lead with that second round knockdown scored moments ago. And Chad November's just going in for the hold and the hit behind the head, but Jardine is laughing it off. He doesn't care what's coming back his way, he's ready to fight.
November's swinging wildly now, his hands down, his mouth open. Very interesting to see Jardine much more composed as the fighter. He's walking his man down, and he knocks his mouthpiece out at the end of the second round. November's looking in all sorts of trouble as the round ends.
Of course, that mouthpiece getting knocked out courtesy of the fact that he's not clamping his jaw on it because he can't breathe. You can easily see now the levels of fitness that are being involved. Jardine's having his legs off the floor in his corner. A professional boxer himself, Mr. Sterling Shaw, he sits on a
knocked down, certainly a 10-8 round, and here we are, the third and final round. Let's go.
November's certainly got the look of a person who wants to come to the party. He's all guile at the moment, but once again, those hands aren't convincing enough. And he throws a nice jab straight to the forehead of Jeremy Jardine, who just laughs it off and keeps coming forward.
November opening his hands up as he exits. It's a very dangerous strategy. I don't quite think he's mastered the technical finesse to pull off this kind of movement. He's also circling the wrong way. Jardine's busy throwing with his jab and trying to make November circle towards his power hand, and he just gets caught on the inside. And November's firing back, but Jardine's looking strong. He's walking down his man. November's hands are down. This is going to be a cracker.
November's on his bike, but he's sitting there in the pocket. He's firing back, but he's always got that left hook coming straight back at him, and then he eats a big body shot to the solar plexus.
This is a fantastic third round. Both men standing in the center of the ring, no one giving an inch. November fires forward, Jardine's hands up. You can see he's going once to exchange, and there's Jardine clinching. I think the big decisive one is that November doesn't seem to have the same kind of stamina and conditioning that Jardine has.
And this is all for charity. None of these guys are getting paid to be in this ring tonight. They're doing it for the love of the game. They're doing it for Fight for Change. And November comes back with a few shots of his own. Jeremy has always got that look of steel on him, and he's waiting for that opening, and it should come. He's just got to be patient.
And the crowd is on their feet. Jardine digs to the body. November's hands are down. He just got caught with a flush shot coming in. The crowd is going wild. It's electric over here. Although these are not professionals, people are certainly getting their money's worth for what they're seeing right now.
Jardine keeping composed. He's kept the same tempo the whole fight. He hasn't been gassed, and he's taking a few shots here. I've got to give it to Chad November. He definitely knows how to mount a comeback.
November trying very hard, but his hands are low, his mouth is open, and Jardim is still looking strong going into the third round. The crowd is on their feet. This is an incredibly exciting bout, and November is looking tired. Jardim recovering. You can see he's the bigger puncher of the two. November trying to tie his man up and not having much luck with it.
Well, I think Jardim is starting to empty the tank as we speak. Although I think it's kind of like one of those Tekken games where you just see one shot knock a huge bar of your energy off. This is kind of what it looks like to me. November more intent on holding on. That mouth is wide open, those hands are well low, but he keeps coming back and he's ready to go.
Although November's throwing lever, he doesn't look like he's hitting very hard. Jardim's mounting a comeback and he's finding his second win. This is a cracker of a fight, neck on neck, toe to toe, and both men are throwing furiously.
Crowd have got their money's worth. This is certainly fight of the night so far, an absolute humdinger of an event that we're having here at the Cape Sun Hotel tonight. Jeremy Jardine, all he needs to do is be more composed and look for those openings. He's trying to wail away, but the openings will come as we come to the end of round number 3. A fantastic bout. Who are you going to go with for the win?
And the winner, on points, Jeremy from PFA!